Welcome to the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority's Vendor Cafe Training for Vendors. In this module, we will discuss purchase orders and their use within Vendor Cafe. To access purchase orders in Vendor Cafe, there are two options. The first option is from the left side menu. Click Purchase Orders, which will bring up your purchase orders in two tabs, Received and Unreceived. The other way is to first click Dashboard to get back to your home screen, and then click Purchase Orders on the center menu. If you click Purchase Orders here, you will receive the overview of the purchase orders that we discussed in the Dashboard Overview video. If you further click here, it will take you to the same tab as shown if you were to access the purchase orders from the left-hand side menu. CMHA requires vendors get a PO number prior to the start of any work. You can review your PO numbers in Vendor Cafe. We will discuss how to do that in future slides. Working without a purchase order can result in no payment for services. Please do not work without a purchase order number. Purchase orders have two categories, received or unreceived. All purchase orders begin in the unreceived category. Then, the vendor completes the work or provides the product. The CMHA requester will review the product or service and ensure that it was completed in an appropriate manner. Once that happens, they will go into Yardi and receive the purchase order so the vendor can submit their invoice. A PO must be received before an invoice can be submitted. If you've completed the work, but the PO is still in the unreceived status, please contact the CMHA requester who ordered the service so that they can receive and you can submit your invoice through Vendor Cafe. A life and safety purchase order is given to a vendor prior to the completion of the PO approval workflow so that the emergency situation can be abated quickly. This means that the PO will not show up in Vendor Cafe until it reaches final approval in the PO workflow. So you may not see the PO number in Vendor Cafe immediately. If you do not see the PO in Vendor Cafe within a week of the life and safety emergency, please contact the CMHA requester who ordered the service. There are two types of purchase orders, a parent purchase order and a change order purchase order. The vast majority of POs that you will encounter will be parent POs. Occasionally, a change order might be entered. There are two reasons a change order PO might be entered. If the product or service is going to cost more than originally anticipated, a change order purchase order can be entered to raise the PO total. If performance deductions need to be taken, then a negative change order PO can be entered to lower the original PO total. This applies to those vendors who have contracts with CMHA that contain performance deductions. A change order PO is linked to the parent PO and causes the total of the change order PO to be the total of both the parent and change order POs. It is clear in Vendor Cafe what is a parent and what is a change order PO. We will discuss that in the next few slides. Now we will discuss the purchase order review screens. To do so, we're going to click on Purchase Orders on the left side menu. This is the most direct path there. You will see two tabs, Received and Unreceived. As we discussed earlier, all purchase orders begin in received status, and then once the product or service has been provided to CMHA, CMHA will receive the purchase order and move it into received status so that the vendor can then submit their invoice. There are multiple search options within the purchase order review screen, including searching by PO number, unit, property name, or property code. Additionally, you can select the timeline you would like to see purchase orders from. It's defaulted to 90 days, so if you have a purchase order that's older than 90 days, you will need to change the filter. You can change it even to a whole year. So if you wanted to see all your open purchase orders from the year 2020 or 2021, you could do so here. This slide contains a ton of information about all of the columns listed on the PO review screen. I would recommend pausing and screenshotting this screen so that you can refer back to it when reviewing your own POs. This slide lists the main residential properties and their corresponding codes that CMHA or Touchstone Property Services may order services for. You will need the codes and the corresponding property descriptions to submit your invoices. These codes can be found on the purchase order in the purchase order review screens. The properties and corresponding codes listed here are for departments at CMHA main campus that may order services or products. You will need the code and the property description to submit invoices. You can find these codes on the purchase orders themselves. This listing is not all-inclusive. There are additional properties that may be utilized, but this is a good list of the main properties that you will receive purchase orders for. For Vendor Cafe assistance, please see the other CMHA provided videos. If additional assistance is required, please contact Vendor Cafe support at the contact information below.